Limits of the Flesh, Chapter 33, Fantasy Fiction by Azazyel. Rias then took a literal map of my new place, and along with the map, she also gave me a key. That's the key to the front door, but the estate is rather large, so I thought giving you a map instead of hopelessly trying to show you around a mansion even I didn't know would be better, hehe. Rias said cutely and even stuck her tongue out at me. I just chuckled at Rias's act and carefully took the key from her before tucking it into my pocket. Well, thank you for the house, Rias. Really, thank you, I said as I took Rias's hand, making her smile at my affectionate gesture as my fingers intertwined with her own. Well, let's head to the game room. I spoke with my head turning to the side. I saw on the map right across the hall from my personal master bedroom was a larger room labeled game room. Oh yes. I had the game room stocked with all the games, manga, books, and major movies from around the world that I could get my hands on. Rias said excitedly as she pulled me along towards the game room. Well, this is certainly nice, I spoke, nodding as I took in the room with large floor-to-ceiling windows that were letting in the sunlight on one side of the room, with large mechanical blackout drapes that with a remote control button would pull across the room to block out all sunlight, as Rias showed me. There, so what do you want to do? We could watch a movie or something, Rias offered, and after a moment of thought I just mentally said screw it and pulled Rias to sit in beside me as we shared a sofa cushion. Let's just talk for a minute. I want to just relax with you for a bit, as we hadn't really had much time to just talk since that little talk we had at your resort house a few days ago, I said softly as I held on to Rias's hands. Rias's light blush she had at me holding her hands faded a bit, but the smile she was wearing only deepened as I could feel through her body the pure joy she had that I was just making time for her without needing something to distract or justify spending the time with her. For a moment I considered telling Rias about how Surzex and his wife Grafia had shown up in my very bedroom during the training trip we went on, but then I realized it would just bring drama between Rias and her brother, and I would gain nothing from saying anything. Anyway, so how is your family taking your marriage being cancelled? I never really got to meet your parents, I asked, as I was curious about how Rias's parents felt about me just appending their marriage plans for their daughter, as apparently only Venelana, Rias's mom, had come to the rating game and didn't want to ruin our little celebration at winning our first rating game, so we never met her. My mother is supportive of me making my own way, but my father as well. Rias drew off as she shook her head, with her crimson hair being thrown in the air, which honestly distracted me with how beautiful it was. He is not happy that his plan to bring the Phoenix clan closer to the moderate devil faction which my brother and father leads was blasted into pieces, as the Phoenix clan has retreated towards the Devil King faction just to spite us, Rias said, shrugging weakly, but I snorted. Yeah, well, if they become an issue. I raised a hand up and the golden flames of the Phoenix family danced across my hand. I can make an entire orphanage into a new Phoenix clan, and if the orphanage is within Gremory territory, and if you decided to hire a dozen orphans with no life prospects to make you dozens of times more Phoenix tears in a month than what the actual Phoenix clan can make in a decade, well, that would be most fortunate for the moderate faction, wouldn't it? I asked with an evil smile, as I imagined that uppity Phoenix patriarch coming to throw a fit and get stomped down by either Surzex for the pure potential having a much greater supply of Phoenix tears would bring the devil race, or I just smacking him down for entering my territory. Hell, why make a bunch of orphans into phoenixes that could run off or get captured? Rias, can you get me some cows or something? I am going to make a line of cows that can be milked into giving Phoenix tears, I said, grinning as Rias's mouth flapped open and closed as she mentally blue-screened at the thought of a noble, devil bloodline trait given to a simple cow and farmed. Yeah, of course I can get cows. But do you think this is a good idea, Jake? Rias asked me with concern, and for a moment I realized that having the cows would, to say the least, put a massive target on my back. Actually, can you ask your brother or his wife to come with the cows and some other animals? I don't think us keeping the cows here would be a good idea. Plus, giving your brother such a gift will be a good introduction for me to your family, wouldn't you say? I said, squeezing Rias's hand that was within my own and flooding her mind with some happy juices. Yes, that would make Big Brother very happy, Rias muttered before she took a deep breath. Jake, thank you for coming into my life, Rias said softly as she let go of my hand and then cupped my chin and drew closer to me. Thank you for thinking of me and my family. she whispered just before our lips met together in a soft kiss that lasted several seconds before I held onto her waist and the heat of my hand seemingly woke her back up from the kiss I was giving her while also making her taste buds think my saliva was the greatest thing ever. I do like you, Jake. Rias started off and teased me, but then she winked as she whipped out her larger blocky cell phone that could reach between dimensions and obviously began texting her brother or sister-in-law. Alright, I sent a message to my brother that at his earliest convenience, he needs to bring you some cows and some other animals so that you can give him a great gift that he absolutely has to see, Rias said shamelessly as she snuggled up next to me and under my arm as though her little line about liking me and drawing off wasn't going to bug me. Not even 10 seconds later, after we began silently cuddling, I heard Rias's phone pinging, and her face scrunched up as she muttered something about Surzek skiving off work. He asked how many cows you want. Rias said dryly. I realize now that I need to be careful as I don't want to give myself hours of work. Let's just say a dozen for now, I said as I mentally mapped out the process in which I could anchor the Phoenix bloodline's healing ocular fluids into the cow's equivalent of alveoli cells, so the new Phoenix cows will have much thinner milk with much of the fat and other nutrients being substituted with the magical healing fluids of the Phoenix clan's ocular fluids. He is on his way and will be here with a zoo's worth of animals in less than 5 minutes. I think he is literally stealing the Lilith City Zoo along with raiding a ranch for the cows, ahaha. Rias said weakly as her laughter came out almost like crying, and I could imagine why. Just imagine you are some kid and you went to the zoo for the day, but then the leader of your country literally just flew in and stole all the animals in the course of a couple minutes and left without a single word. That would be traumatizing for any kid.